Hey there, and welcome back to the deep dive. Today, we're embarking on a mission to cut through the noise a bit. We're
Mm,
demystifying some core concepts in network security, specifically within the Junos OS environment. The foundational stuff. Keeps our data safe, networks humming behind the scenes, but yeah, often feels a bit like digital magic. We've got some fantastic source material today. It's actually structured around, well, a series of practical, real world scenarios. Now, don't worry, there's no pop quiz for you. Instead, we're going to use these scenarios as like springboards, launching pads, maybe, to extract not just facts, but real insights, to truly understand the why and how behind these crucial security mechanisms. Our goal is to give you a shortcut to being genuinely well informed, ready to spot the critical details others might miss.
precisely. And think of these scenarios as the perfect way to peel back the layers. Understand the fundamental building blocks of modern network defense. We're moving beyond just knowing the right answer to some question. We're going to explore why certain approaches are absolutely essential, what common pitfalls they prevent, and what their broader implications are for securing our increasingly complex digital world. It's about building intuition, really, not just memorizing commands.
I love that building intuition. Okay, let's unpack this then. Our mission today: equip you with those critical nuggets of knowledge, give you a fresh perspective on everything from, say, granular traffic control to proactive defense against sophisticated attacks. So let's jump in, start uncovering these insights.
All right, first up, many people think firewalls are just about on or off,
Mm.
block everything or let everything through. But that's a gross oversimplification, right? Especially today. From a practical standpoint, what's the immediate problem you run into if you don't have a way to precisely identify traffic? And how do services in Junos OS solve that specific pain point? Yeah, that's a fantastic way to frame it. It highlights the core dilemma perfectly. Without a granular way to identify traffic, you're basically forced into one of two equally bad spots.
Hmm.
Either you block too much, disrupting legitimate business ops,
Right.
or you allow too much, creating massive security holes.
Yeah, neither sounds good.
Exactly. So what's fascinating about services in Junos OS
Mhm.
is how they just cut right through this. They allow for incredibly granular control. The real insight here is moving beyond just block allow. It's adopting a default deny posture. Services are the granular tools that make a robust default deny strategy actually achievable. They force you to consciously permit only what is absolutely essential.
Okay, so it's not just saying allow web traffic.
Mm.
It's defining allow web traffic on this specific port with this particular protocol. It's like having a bouncer at a club who knows exactly which specific door and window each type of guest should use. And if you try the wrong one,
You're definitely not getting in.
yeah.
That's a great analogy. It's all about precision in your security posture,
Right.
really. You're moving from a broad allow all to a very specific allow this for this reason.
Hmm.
And that precision is vital. But to your earlier point, where administrators often miss the mark,
Mhm.
it's in the initial definition or maybe the ongoing maintenance.
Mm.
They might define a service too broadly, maybe,
Hmm.
or forget to review services when application requirements change. Happens all the time. This can lead to what we call security creep, where policies just become overly permissive over time. You inadvertently reintroduce vulnerabilities you thought you'd closed off.
Ah, okay. That makes a lot of sense, the whole set it and forget it trap.
Yeah.
So services give us that foundational precision, known ports, known protocols. But what happens when that precision is, well, evaded? What's the next evolution in traffic control? The one that addresses the limits of just looking at ports? And what kind of real-world threats did that evolution emerge to counter? Because applications are getting smarter, sneakier, right?
Absolutely. And this raises that important question. What happens when an app uses a non-standard port? Maybe to evade detection,
Uh-huh.
or when you want to control traffic based on the actual application being used, not just its network characteristics. Traditional port-based rules. They fall short pretty quickly there.
Yeah.
This is where unified security policies, especially on SRX series devices with AppSecure integration, become a real game changer. The critical insight is that these policies require an application object to be configured first. That signifies a fundamental shift in how we approach traffic control.
Right. So it's a leap from what port are you using to what application are you?
Mhm.
That's a huge shift in intelligence. You're saying it identifies the application itself, like, I don't know, Facebook or Salesforce, even if it's hiding behind an encrypted connection.
Exactly. This is where it gets really interesting. The shift from simply looking at a port number to actually identifying the application itself, it provides a much deeper level of control. It's about understanding the content and context of the traffic, not just its delivery mechanism. Now, while the policy itself doesn't decrypt SSL traffic to inspect its content,
Okay.
It can identify the application even if it's using an encrypted connection, thanks to AppSecure's intelligence.
Hmm.
So, for example, if you want to allow general web browsing but block, say, social media streaming,
Yeah.
you can do that with application awareness. Doesn't matter what port it's using. It allows businesses to proactively align their network security with their business policies, making sure critical apps get priority and, non-business apps don't drain resources or introduce risk.
That's a powerful statement, using the network to enforce business logic, not just technical rules. I imagine this helps a lot with the explosion of SaaS applications, where everything seems to run over port 443, making traditional firewall rules almost useless for specific app control.
Precisely. It allows you to regain control over that port 443 sprawl, as you put it. It really
Sure,
does.
yeah.
It's the difference between saying allow everyone to drive on a highway and saying allow essential business vehicles, but recreational vehicles need to take a different route.
Gotcha.
It's about intelligent resource allocation and risk management based on what's actually happening on your network.
Okay, let's switch gears a bit then. Imagine a whole office full of computers, hundreds of them, all wanting to access the internet at the same time. But they only have one public IP address available. How does that digital magic actually happen? What networking concept really underpins that efficiency and connectivity? It seems kind of impossible on the surface.
It does seem like magic, doesn't it? But it's actually fundamental to how much of the internet operates. This brings us to SourceNet, Network Address Translation, and specifically the concept of an address pool.
Hmm.
This has been a cornerstone of networking for decades. I actually remember early in my career debugging network issues before NAT was commonplace. Trying to manage thousands of individual public IPs, it was a wild west, truly.
Wow.
NAT, for all its technical elegance, solved a massive logistical headache.
So an address pool is the central mechanism here, mapping multiple private IPs to usually a single public one. That's the engine of the translation.
That's right. An address pool is a collection of public IP addresses, and often, for this many-to-one scenario, it's just one public IP that your internal private IPs get translated to when they talk externally. This achieves two critical things. First, it significantly helps with IPv4 address exhaustion,
Right, the big one.
meaning you don't need a unique public IP for every single device on your internal network. Second, it adds a crucial layer of security by hiding your internal network topology from the outside world. An external attacker can't easily see or directly target individual internal devices, only the public-facing NAT address.
So it's like everyone in a large apartment building having their own internal apartment number, but when they send out a letter, it all goes through the same main post office box for the building. Extremely efficient. And it provides a layer of anonymity for the residents inside. But given how common it is, are there any inherent security trade-offs or challenges that come with using SourceNet so much that admins should know about?
That analogy is spot on. And yes, while incredibly beneficial, NAT isn't without its considerations. Definitely. One challenge is debugging. When multiple internal users appear as one public IP, correlating external connections back to specific internal devices can be tricky.
Also, certain applications, especially older ones, or maybe those relying on peer-to-peer connections, can struggle with NAT if it's not configured carefully. From a security perspective, while it hides internal topology, if that single public IP is compromised,
Oh, right.
it could potentially impact the entire internal network sharing it. It's a reminder that, no single security feature is a silver bullet. But the true brilliance of NAT isn't just conserving IPs. It fundamentally changed how we design internal networks. It decoupled our internal addressing from the public internet. That paradigm shift gives architects immense flexibility and a built-in layer of obscurity, which is invaluable for security.
That's a deeper insight. It's strategic importance.
Oh.
Okay, now we've talked traffic control, application awareness, but what if the threat isn't just about what traffic is allowed, but the behavior within that traffic? How do network defenses evolve to catch truly malicious patterns or specific exploits, rather than just blocking a port or an app? This feels like going beyond the basics. It absolutely is. This is precisely the domain of intrusion detection and prevention,
Right.
or IDP. It moves beyond just passive filtering to actively looking for and blocking threats based on the content and behavior of the traffic, not just its source, destination, or port. It's like having a security system that not only recognizes known burglars, but can also identify someone trying to pick a lock with some strange new tool. You start feeling less like a security guard and, more like a cybersecurity wizard almost.
That's a great image. So if you needed to configure a custom rule, block a specific, maybe novel type of attack, that capability lives firmly within the IDP component of Junos OS. tells us is a specialized dynamic tool for a specific job.
And what's fascinating here is that IDP allows for both signature-based detection, where it recognizes known attack patterns. Think of it like a database of known malware fingerprints.
Right.
And custom attack blocking. This means you aren't just relying on predefined rules from a vendor. You can actively develop defenses against novel or highly specific threats your organization might face, or even respond to zero-day vulnerabilities before a vendor patch is even available. It's about being proactive, adaptable.
It sounds like IDP shifts you from being just a gatekeeper to being a proactive hunter. Is there a common misconception people have about IDP, something you often have to correct? Or maybe a tricky scenario where it really shines?
Yeah, a common misconception is that you can just enable IDP with default settings and poof, you're fully protected.
Right, if only.
In reality, IDP requires careful tuning, minimizing false positives, maximizing efficacy. It's a continuous process of refinement. Where it truly shines is protecting against sophisticated multi-stage attacks, the kind that might try to use legitimate ports but exhibit malicious command and control behavior or exploit specific application vulnerabilities. It's about understanding the nuances of an attack, the payload, the sequence of events, and then being able to craft a specific countermeasure. Without it, you're missing a crucial layer of intelligent defense.
Okay, finally, let's talk about the ultimate guard, the firewall itself. It's protecting everything else, but how do we protect it? It's easy to overlook, I think, that the very device safeguarding your network also needs safeguarding, from direct attacks, unauthorized access.
This brings us to a crucial feature called host inbound traffic on SRX series devices. This addresses the security of the firewall's own management plane, which is, ironically, often the most vulnerable point if not properly secured. If you can compromise the firewall, you can potentially compromise the entire network it protects.
And when it comes to host inbound traffic, what are the crucial distinctions? How it operates, where it applies, what does it not do? And what's particularly important about its configuration, especially for someone setting this up for the first time.
That's the key right there. This isn't about the traffic flowing through the firewall to other networks. Not at all. It's explicitly about the traffic trying to reach the firewall's own management interfaces.
Okay.
Things like SSH for remote administration or maybe ping for basic connectivity checks. And the fact that it needs to be configured separately for each zone is a critical detail, often missed.
Really? Per zone?
Yes.
Yeah.
This ensures a highly segmented, secure approach to control plane protection. You wouldn't want management access open from, say, an untrusted internet-facing zone, for example.
No, definitely not.
I've seen situations where an administrator thought they'd secured remote access, but forgot to apply host inbound traffic rules to a new internal zone, left an accidental backdoor wide open.
Ouch.
It absolutely highlights the principle of least privilege, even for the device's own access.
That's a fantastic point about the per zone configuration, and a stark reminder that security isn't default, is it? So you can't just assume your management access is secure. You have to explicitly define who and what can talk to the firewall directly, zone by zone. It's like putting a lock on the door to the security office itself, not just the front gate to the property. It's securing the very heart of your network defense.
A perfect analogy. It's a powerful reminder that security is multi-layered, and you can never overlook securing the tools you use to secure everything else. Overlooking that final layer of protection, it can undo all the good work elsewhere. And as you go forward, we consider this. How might these core principles, granular control, application awareness, proactive defense, how might they continue to evolve? Especially with emerging technologies like AI, quantum computing. What new security challenges and solutions might they usher in, building upon the very foundations we've discussed today, as the nature of traffic and threats continues to change in ways we, well, barely imagine right now.
That is a great thought to ponder. Thank you for joining us on this deep dive. Until next time, keep that curiosity sparked.